your mind is limited. The belief system in you is limited by past experiences. So it's very, very difficult to imagine making more than twice what you made in the past. It's just difficult. Is that fair? It's difficult to believe. You know, like you could come up with any number, but will you leave here with the belief in your heart, yeah, I can double my income? It's pretty hard to think that. So you got to know what you made last year, and that's why in session 1 I said you got to have all these facts. You know, you got to know what you made. So if somebody made 100 grand, how much an hour do they get paid in a year? What's their hourly rate if they made 100 grand? Based on, you see, everybody in Canada works. The majority of people outside of commissioned people work by the hour, don't they, Jeffrey? So how many people you know that make $50 an hour? And like that work for wages? Yeah. You know a few? Mm. So $50 an hour times 2,000 hours is 100,000. Now the moment you can get to making $100 an hour, now you're getting paid 200,000. I mean, there's people in the room that have made a lot more than that. You guys probably don't know that one of the stars in the business just walked in the room. So he already knows what it's like to make way over $500,000. But when you came here, you didn't think that was possible, did you, Harj? No. Never thought it was possible. So it takes time to kind of, here's what it takes time to do. Get your belief system in order. Because when you come and you're making 30 grand a year, or 40 grand a year, or 50 grand a year, or 60 grand a year. I mean, 60 grand a year, that's $30 an hour. See, that's the number. So it's important to write that number down only because if you know what your time is worth, and you only have so much time, you can decide the number. I can't decide the number. Everybody's got to decide the number for themselves. You decide what the number is that you're worth, that you believe this is what's based on past experiences, right? And so once you know what that number is, you only got so many hours in the day. And so the question to ask yourself is, am I doing the highest dollar productive activity every hour? You can only work so many hours, right? You got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to exercise, you got a family, you got other things you got to do. So you're going to work so many hours. In those hours, am I making the highest dollar productive activity? So once you got that figured out, now you got to come up with, you got to figure out, well, there's the numbers, there's the examples, right? Like we did that, I did that slide. Just kind of crunch the numbers and come up with a number. And at some point in your plan, figure out, okay, this is how many dollars an hour I'm gonna earn, right? Does that make sense? It's a little bit of figuring, but come up with something. Because the moment you come up with something, now you can make a huge decision. Well, first of all, before I leave it, if you're new to the business, even if you're new to less than 3 years in the business, so then you should remember what you used to get paid for whatever job you did. You cannot make that amount of money in real estate and make it. You know, like you know what I'm saying? Like what do they pay prison guards or government employees, Harsh? What do they pay them? 75 to 100. So they're making between $35, $40 an hour to $50 an hour, right? You can't come to real estate and make the same money because you're going backwards. If you make the same as what you made at the job, you're going backwards. You have to make more because you have expenses you didn't have over there. And you have to create the work. So it's not like you just show up and get paid. So I'm thinking you got to make at least 25, or Scott would give me a number, 25, 30% more, 40% more. You know what I'm saying? 40, you got to make at least 40% more. So if you were making, you know, $100, $100,000 a year, you come here, you got to make 140,000, just to kind of like, so you know you're not going backwards. Make sense? I mean, that's why there's really no room for part-time people. There's absolutely no room because they'll never learn the skills. They're just tough. Matter of fact, I tell people to start. Don't start unless you got 6 months worth of living expenses in the bank, because you need to kind of put focus, learn the skills, get to work on the activities, all that kind of stuff. So, okay. Once you got that figured out, quickly, now tell me. You need to figure out where am I going to make the most money? So the question is, what are your top 4 priorities?